Good afternoon. We're going to begin. Ms. Herbert is joining us. She's just had a couple things to attend to, but she's going to join us in just a minute. With that, Madam Clerk, call the meeting to order. Could you call the roll,
Absolutely,
please?
yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey.
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Ms. Herbert. Dr. Bustles.
Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Present.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman.
Here.
Thank you.
Reverend McDowell, would you mind saying a word of prayer?
Let us bow our heads. We thank you for this day, and we thank you for all the activities we've endeavored to accomplish today. We ask for your guidance, your sensitivity, and yet your wisdom. Touch us individually and yet collectively, allowing us to sense and feel the warmness of your spirit. We ask it and claim it in your name. Amen.
Amen.
We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That worm ain't gonna pop out.
Ready, Mr. Mayor? Good afternoon. At this time, Mayor, we will ask for you and council to adopt the agenda with one amendment, removing the verbiage of 1500 Main Street from item 34, resolution number 2025-047, authorizing consumption of beer, wine, and liquor at SC Pride Festival on Friday, October 3rd, 2025, and Saturday, October 4th, 2025.
Is there a
So
motion?
move.
Motion. Is there a second? Got a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Dr. Bustles.
Yes.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Mr. McDowell.
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman.
Aye.
Thank you.
We are at the point in the agenda to receive the initial public input for items that do not require a zoning public hearing.
Madam City Manager, I'd like to take a point of personal privilege before we go into public input. We have some special guests here tonight. Our friends from Korea are in town visiting. We had a great opportunity to visit them this past March and learn a lot about not only that we have this incredible network of alumni that are living in Korea and have attended the university, go Gamecocks, but we also learned a lot about energy management and different alternative energy sources. And we had an opportunity to meet with Samsung, CY Logistics, but KEPCO, which is the national Korean energy company that manages. And I was very blown away by the efficiency, all the different technologies and their investments that they made. This isn't a country that has less than 9 minutes of power down on an annual basis. And so we got into a lot of exciting discussions with them, and they've been here for the last 2 days. We had our first meeting yesterday here at the city. Today, they've been meeting with the university and talking about creating a pilot program, but then from that pilot program, really getting into making our city a leader in the Southeast when it comes to energy management, using all the technologies, but creating a real relationship, sharing technology information. We're in the process of a sister city discussion with Naiju, which has become kind of the energy capital, for lack of a better term, in Korea. But it also has a technical school that's tied to future energy production and how that ties in and the energy efficiencies in buildings and how we manage that energy so that we don't have downtime. So I wanted to take a minute to recognize them and welcome you to Columbia officially. Thank you. And if you don't want to stay for the meeting, you may go back. I know y'all have had two busy days and may be ready to go, so you're welcome. But I just wanted to make sure that we got to recognize you publicly and thank you. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know Ryan Coleman, our Economic Development Director, is being a great host. So thank you all. And now for public input, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Advising speakers that they have 3 minutes to present their comments to City Council. The first person signed up to speak is Mr. Gus Bueno, and he's here to speak on the STR ordinance.
Thank you, everybody, council,
Hey.
mayor, and everybody here. So I want to start thanking my neighbors. I moved to Elmwood Park in 2021. I've been in this country for 10 years now, and it's been very gracious to see how the neighborhood has evolved in the last few years. I want to thank the neighbors for the work that they do, the city that comes along us, and also the investors, such as myself. I live there, but I also have properties that I poured a lot of effort into it. So I want to say, we do not choose the country we're born on. I was born in Brazil, and I decided that I want to move to the United States of America. I think this is the greatest country in the world, and I'm very proud to be here. It's been a long journey. It's a very hard, but I made it here. My paperworks are properly filed. I'm really happy to be here. And I chose here, just before the meeting started, we pledged allegiance to the country. And one of the covenants that we pledged to was liberty and justice. Laws should be enacted not to prevent citizens to exercise their own rights. They shouldn't punish those that chooses to violate someone else's. That's my point. So there's a lot I could talk about at the ordinance, but I want to touch 2 things that I believe are most prevalent. I'm obviously in favor of the short-term rentals. I run a lot of them, and I really keep a very tight whip on mine. Every time I see something not going well, I immediately take action, and I want to thank the Columbia Police Department for being very supportive of that. Every time I reach out to them, they've been very proactive whenever I need their support. Minimum 25 years of age, I think that's simply against the American principles. At age of 18, you can drive, you can vote, you can go to war and die for your country.
Can't rent a car, though.
That's also wrong.
Just saying.
Yeah,
So you know.
absolutely. So you can go to war and die for your country, but you cannot rent a short-term rental. I don't think that's right. I don't think we can rob that from our youth. If they decided that they want to do that and they follow the rules, they should be given the benefit of the doubt. And if they decided to do something that is not aligned with the rules, then they should be punished for it. I did have parties in one of my properties, and I did call the police department, and they did act on it. One of the challenges that they have, the police department, they told me a lot of times they don't do the police report, they follow up on everything because there's no persecution afterwards. They said very often when there's an offense involving minors, drugs, alcohol, they do all the paperwork that they have to do as a police department, but there is no follow-up. So I think we really need to think about how the system is working, because this is probably one of the things that's causing the increase in shootings and violence in the city. Unfortunately, the city has gotten a little bit more violent. I have 3 shootings occurring around my properties, and that has nothing to do with short-term rentals. I think as a community, we need to come together.
Mr. Bueno, your 3 minutes have passed.
As a community, we need to come together and work together to fight those violent people and not pointing fingers at each other, trying to find a source which is not within the business. There's a shooting here. I don't think we should shut this down, right? So,
Well, we're not shutting anything down.
yeah,
so
but
Thank you.
I think you get my point. Thank you for your time.
Next to also speak on the STR ordinance is Mr. Jim Prater.
Mr. Prater?
Prater, thank you.
It's okay. I'm Jim Prater. I live in Earlwood, home of more than 10% of your short-term rentals. And I imagine that number is substantially, the reported number is substantially lower than the reality. I have a couple of recommendations for you immediately. One is we just renewed the 25 permits, and not a single 25 permit was passed on to the Earlwood community organization. So we have a problem in terms of that requirement or meeting that requirement, which means we're not able to double check and track. The other thing I would like to suggest is that on the application, first thing is that all of the current applications that have been approved be immediately forwarded to the neighborhood associations. That seems to be the only way that there's any ability to track that. The second thing is that the rentals should be forwarded to the City of Columbia as they are made. The property owners and the bookers ought to notify the city and the code enforcement people that they have a current rental for whatever defined period of time. Otherwise, they face with limited manpower the task of policing 446 plus units and no way of knowing how many of them are active at a given period of time or a given specified period of time. And that notification ought to go to the neighborhood associations as well, so that at any given night or weekend, the neighborhood associations and the code people know exactly which occupied units are in the neighborhood. Those are the two I'd like to pass on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Kit Smith.
Kit?
Glad to be with you, and thank you for having us. The question that I think each of you as a representative of this public should answer, and also to the public, is why are these good for neighborhoods? Why are they good for neighborhoods? Why are we the only city in South Carolina that has not moved to either restrict the number of them or the location of them that we can find? We've looked at 20 different neighborhoods and cities across the state. Airbnb, or AirDNA, which is the consummate owner of data that they sell to people who want to invest, has got Columbia ranked in the top 25 places to invest in Airbnbs, which means that if we leave it open, we're going to get a lot more. And this is not just a question of the economy, it's a question of the quality of life of the neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are the building block of a city, and once you start losing your housing, your affordable housing in those neighborhoods, and that's where Airbnbs are locating, you're destroying a housing opportunity for a family. And that's what my neighborhood is concerned about. There's been some talk about how are we going to restrict these, and we support that. We would want to work with you on that. And maybe one size doesn't fit all. If you put a cap in or a percentage in, Wells Garden only has 6 Airbnbs at this time, but we're over 50% in student rentals. So if you don't take that into account, the houses that will be eaten up will be further houses that people and homes and neighbors and families and young professionals could live in. So I ask you, as you go forward in your deliberations, we understand that the moratorium is going to stay in place, and we had a little bit of a panic about that today because we thought that was the understanding. We encourage you to engage us. What we feel happens too often is the conversations that take place outside of the public, we don't have an opportunity to participate in to counter them with information and data, and we've done a lot of research. Two quick legal things. In the ordinance, and I haven't seen the one that you've got before you today, but if it's the same one we've been looking at, there is concern about violation of due process in removing a license immediately given to the police force. And I'm afraid you will probably run into trouble on that. The 14th Amendment says you can't deny somebody property without due process. And to yank somebody's license without due process would be a violation. You could put language in that says you can immediately suspend it, temporarily suspend it, while you have time to go forward with a hearing. And the second thing is we feel you need to amend your zoning ordinance. Every other city that has done this has done it with some form of zoning. And our zoning ordinance doesn't even mention short-term rentals. And if you don't have it in there, we don't know what they are. Are they for residents? No. They're for visitors. Do they belong in a residential zone? No. They belong, according to the zoning ordinance, in a campground or an Airbnb or a hotel or a motel. So I would encourage you that when we get something done, let's not have it subject to legal challenge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Denise Wellman, also on STRs.
Good afternoon, y'all. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you today. I'm Denise Wellman, president of Cottontown, and some of you have a letter that I sent earlier. I sent it to my council people and the at-large folks, but I want to bring to you from Cottontown a second to everything that Kit Smith just said. Our neighborhoods are not hotels, and we don't want to be a neighborhood of visitors. We seriously depend upon engaged people in our neighborhoods to make things happen. And when you turn them into hotels, then we don't know who our neighbors are, and they also don't care about our concerns. I would encourage you not to rush to action. One, the agenda online doesn't say you're going to have a first reading on this today. I just picked this up outside. It's not listed on here that you're having a first reading on a change to the short-term rental ordinance. That's a concern to me. And I also feel like enforcement is not the solution here. Enforcement comes into play when there's really already been harm. And so you've already affected the quality of life in our neighborhoods if we're depending solely on enforcement to help us handle this. And the demand, the work of enforcement starts with our neighborhoods. As you all recognized in the work session, we have to be the front line of defense. And I love our code enforcement people. I love CPD and applaud them every chance I get, but they are overworked. And if we don't keep that in mind, even adding 2 additional people, 2 part-time, 1 full-time person, we're not going to get any control on the impact short-term rentals are having on our neighborhoods, even if we add code enforcement officers. Because all we're doing is we're approaching this from an enforcement standpoint, not from what Kit was talking about. Neighborhoods matter, and we need neighborhoods, and they vote. They're actively engaged in things, and our neighborhoods are really concerned about where we are with short-term rentals. So So I encourage you, as Kit said, please engage the neighborhoods before we rush to judgment on this. Let's really sit down and find a solution that is going to be a balanced approach that we can all live with and feel good about, and our city will thrive. Thank you.
Ms. Wellman, I do want to state for the record that the enforcement part of this was very clear in our last meetings. I made a very clear conscious that we need to fill some of these gaps before we start into the full fall season. So this wasn't about that, no, we didn't tell anybody or anything. I just want to make sure we're clear on that, because I made a pretty poignant statement at this council that we were going to move forward trying to get this enforcement piece because we wanted to give Mr. Hatcher the tools to address with these gaps. We're not yet at the other part of this, which has some more engagement, is how do we move forward? What does it look like? How do we create the balance that's out there? You know, Greenville did not get rid of STRs. They grandfathered and then created two separate categories, one for 1 to 30 days and one from 30 to 89 days, and then, you know, long-term rentals. So we're absorbing a lot of that and where the evidence is in that, and how do we balance what's consistently out there, because we're not going to put, I just want to be frank, I'm not going to put somebody out of business, but at the same time, there has to be accountability. So we got to fill that gap first. So I want to reiterate that point is we're not rushing, we're solving. This is going to be an evolving thing. The model's changed. 2 years ago, there were 800 Airbnbs. They're not 800 today. You know, so there are a lot of things that have happened, but I want to be clear, we're doing this to give some teeth because we heard from y'all that there were gaps. That's directly from residents that there are gaps in the enforcement, also in the way the registration is done. I think Jim Prater brought a great point that we need to consider as well, is some of those sheets that go out, but also the auditing. So I want to bring those people on because we've got to address this one way or another. And I want to be clear because I don't want people to think that we're doing something that we didn't say we were going to do. We clearly said we were going to start working on the enforcement piece because I have a fear that if we didn't, that we're going to end up in the fall with a lot more issues, and we need to have time to resolve those ahead of time.
We so appreciate that. We know that enforcement is an important piece of this. It is just not the only part of this.
No, and it's not, and we're not done yet. This ordinance only has to do with what we're talking about, enhancing enforcement. The moratorium has not been lifted because we don't have the answers to it. Collectively, we don't have all the information, and it's not even on the agenda. So I just want to make sure that everybody has the facts.
And for clarity, Mr. Mayor, what is on the agenda? Because that's very important to the clerk and myself who work very hard on agendas into the evening on Fridays. The ordinance is listed and was duly noted for the public on Friday when it was published. Item 30 for first reading. It is absolutely on the agenda.
This is the one that's at the door, and I went home and looked online, so I don't know. I probably got a dated one. But
No, ma'am, it's item 30. It's on there.
I appreciate the work that you're putting into this, and on behalf of all the neighborhoods, I think we appreciate your hard
Just want to
work.
make sure you knew we're trying to fill some gaps here. Thank you.
No one else has signed up to speak on STRs, but we do have 2 individuals signed up to speak on item 3. The first one being Ms. Anna Herron.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. Anna Herron in Blythewood. I am speaking on number 3, but I just want to say on the short-term rental really quickly, I really would hesitate to allow the government to put regulations on my private property. We shouldn't be, doing that. So, but number 3, this is taxpayer dollars going to a federal lobbying service for a year. I don't think taxpayers would be happy to hear that. Their tax dollars are going to DC. People expect their tax dollars to go to essential public services, roads, police, judicial services, that type of thing. I don't think this is an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars. I'm going to repeat some words said by a senator in another freedom-loving state last week. but replace our state with his quote, "South Carolinians don't want their hard-earned money to be funneled into lobbyist pockets who normally live outside their communities and do not advocate for their values." This lobbyist organization will live in DC. They're going to set up office and, set up staff and everything for the city of Columbia, not the citizens, the government entity of city of Columbia. South Carolinians expect their elected officials to advocate on their behalf, not outsource their voice to special interests who subvert them. Jim Clyburn represents the people of the city of Columbia. We pay him six figures to go to Washington and represent the people. This contract is just a gross misuse of taxpayer dollars. And please, just anytime you allocate taxpayer dollars to things, just think about if I were to go around city of Columbia and pass out flyers and say, hey, look what your representatives are voting on. Look how they're spending your tax dollars. Would they be happy? I don't think so for this item. So thank you.
Ma'am, I will just tell you, we are going to agree to disagree on that, because without this lobbying group, the $204 million that we're getting for the realignment of the rail, closing the rail crossings and safe crossings across our city would have not come. Millions of dollars. We're getting close to $300 million from the federal government, where this group would have not been with us to help us get that money and track it, follow it, and help us get it, we wouldn't have it. That is a direct benefit to our community. You can agree or disagree that we shouldn't do it, and that's your right, and I appreciate it. But I just want you to know, when we make decisions like this, the payback for this is tremendous.
Yep, thank you. Can I respond?
Absolutely.
I understand, I understand it's a normal practice to lobby and get, federal and state money to our local governments. It's normal, but I don't think it's right to do. You guys charge property taxes here, I believe, and parking fees and all that, all these taxes and fees to support your own local government. It's federal dollars should be used for federal services, not local and state. It just doesn't make sense to me. I know it's normal. I just think we should think about this.
You get 100 senators to agree to that statement, then you and I can have a great conversation. But until then, they're going to keep taking those dollars if we're not fighting for them. And we're going to keep fighting for the people of Columbia. But thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Ethan Mathis here to speak on the same matter.
Hey, Mr. Mathis, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. I just want to echo the words of Ms. Anna Herron that this is not the correct use of funds. Don't send $90,000. I know that's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but don't send $90,000 to disappear into the swamp of DC. You said that we're trying to get federal funds. Where does the federal government get its money from? It's from the taxpayers, right?
Don't you want it back?
I want them not to take it in the first place.
Well, that's a whole nother argument. We're not going to win today, but.
Not today, but I'll leave it there. Taxation is theft. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next to speak on item 27, which is a zoning matter, Mr. George McCutcheon.
That's will be at the zoning hearing, correct?
It's not a hearing.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. McCutcheon.
I think we're in agreement, Mr. Brooks, is that correct?
Can you come to the podium? I'm sorry.
Put it on the
We need to make
record.
sure we get it on the record.
Mr. Daniel Brooks also signed up to speak on the
All
matter.
right. Hey, Mr. Brooks, how you doing today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Also, thank you for, I spoke with you last month, and we did get someone out to survey our water. That was important to the community. Mr. McCutcheon and I met at my home to discuss some matters that was certainly concerning to the community. We had a great meeting. We had a lack of communications in our follow-up in terms of an email not being correctly. So I was really concerned coming in today of whether those adjustments was made. But in sitting there, looked like everything that we spoke about on behalf of the community and myself was met. I would just like to make sure that those changes go into record in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Mr. John Wilkerson.
I will let Mr. McCutcheon come up, and
Yes, thank you.
I'd like him to verify for the record what
Thank you.
they were working together on, some aesthetics and other things.
Yes, thank you. So just to make sure that they are in the record, the things that we are adding to this deed restriction to make sure we protect the area are that we had said all vehicles from the Suncoast operations would go through Atlas Road only and not use Smith Street. So we added that into it. Then another one that you would assume, but we're going to put it in here to be absolutely certain, is we will also not use Hattie Gibson, which is even further beyond Smith Street, not use that, which would then lead out onto Smith Street. So that'll be prohibited from the Suncoast using that. And then something that was already approved in Planning Commission, but we're going to add it as Exhibit C, is the landscaping plan that shows where it goes around their houses in addition to the sycamore buffer that is further over. So they're actually two plantings. So I think that covers everything to make sure we've got it in the record.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Thank you.
George and Mr. Brooks, I just want to thank both of y'all for doing this. I mean, too many times we've seen, people fire off at each other. People try to, won't work together. And I really believe that this is so important, and we're in a very, very, very collaborative time in Columbia, and thank you for being examples of that. And I appreciate both of y'all working together to whether you're solving a problem or just talking. We got to get back to where people are more civil, people work together, people are less aggressive, and want to solve problems and want to make Columbia better. And thank you for doing that.
Madam Clerk?
We will pick up with Mr. John Wilkerson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Ms. Wilson, and Councilman Brown. I agree with your sentiment, and I would also like to give a shout out to Gus Bueno, who's a member of our neighborhood, and he's an STR operator, and he has been an active and contributing member to our neighborhood. In fact, he is the only one who has told us that he is there operating a short-term rental in our neighborhood. Despite the ordinance which has that requirement, none of the others have told us that they are there or provided any contact information. And we certainly don't want to damage his business. We wish him great success growing his STR empire. We do have some question and perhaps disagreement on whether that should be in residential zones or in other zones, mixed use, activity corridors, commercial districts. I think the term short-term rental was a clever marketing idea from the Airbnb and that industry, in that it conflates this idea of commercial lodging in residential districts with long-term rentals. And I think everyone here knows that they don't function as housing. People don't live there, right? They function as hotels. That's what they are, and I think we all understand that. So we've shared our neighborhood survey results with you, so hopefully you've got an idea of the sentiment, at least from one of the neighborhoods that is most impacted by it. And we thank you for listening to the many emails and calls I'm sure you've received from our neighbors. So I won't reiterate those points. We've shared them with you already. I just want to thank you for listening and taking on this issue. So thank you.
Thank you for being here, John.
The remaining individuals will speak at the second public input.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Madam City Manager?
Yes, sir. At this time, we will ask council to approve the minutes. Item number 1, council is asked to approve the July 15, 2025 work session and regular meeting minutes.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion, changes, adjustments? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell? Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Consent agenda items 2 through 27, Mr. Mayor and council.
Got a consent agenda items 2 through 27. Is there a motion?
Move, Mr. Mayor.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
You got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Lot of contracts in here, everything from stormwater services to rehab, electrical upgrades at both our canal and Lake Murray treatment plants. This is a time a lot of contracts are getting renewed. It's a lot of stuff happening across the city, so if you have any questions, please let us know. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell? Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, we have one consideration of bids, contracts, and change orders, which is item 28. Council is asked to approve a new construction contract for project WM 3925, the Rosewood Water Main Upgrade. Mr. Brennan, Phase 2, as requested by Columbia Water on April the 7th, 2025. Award to Williams Infrastructure LLC in an amount not to exceed $13,771,221.25, which includes contingency. The initial term of the contract will take effect upon issuance of the notice to proceed with an end date 510 days from commencement.
Mr. Mayor, so move, and you can see why I called this out a huge infrastructure investment in a very cherished District 3 neighborhood. So I make the motion, but would love to hear about the project and how we're moving from Phase 1 to Phase 2 with your innovative and creative funding outlets.
Well, I mean, I will add, this is a pretty big project when you think about close to 35,000 linear feet and rehab, continuing to make.
I made a motion, looking for a second.
A motion and a second. Mr.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, Madam City Manager. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to Rosewood Phase 2. This is the second phase of 3 phases of infrastructure, drinking water system renewal for our Rosewood community. We have aging infrastructure in that area, occasional discolored water, lower pressures. This is going to improve fire flow, pressure, water quality, really a quality of life improvement for citizens in the Rosewood community. We are a little behind when we had planned to do it because some of the bid prices have come in elevated, and we appreciate the community being patient with us until we get our funding in this fiscal year. We're ready to roll. We've got a local contractor serving as the mentor and another local sub serving as the protege on this project. Really excited and moving forward. This area is bordered between Rosewood Drive, South Holly, and South Ott, and like the mayor said, about 35,000 linear feet of infrastructure renewal, road paving, really, really nice improvements for the area. Happy to answer any specific questions you might have.
And I think it's important for the public to know, Phase 1 was 12 million, this is 13, and Phase 3 is another 13. So you're talking almost $40 million being invested in that one area. So we're putting our money back into our communities, building everything from 12-inch to 8-inch to 6-inch lines all over, so.
Clint, I appreciate Columbia Water, District 3. Thanks you very much.
Thank you.
I think it's also worth noting that this is an investment in our community. This is what we're doing as a council. We're investing in our community. We're investing in our quality of life. And we're changing the way we do business here. And thank you for being part of this.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell? Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving into a period of ordinances, first reading, item 29, ordinance number 2025-061, granting an encroachment to WTC of Garner's Ferry LLC for the use of the right-of-way area of the 7600 block of Garner's Ferry Road for the installation and maintenance of sidewalks adjacent to 7620 Garner's Ferry Road in Richland County.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell? Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 30, ordinance number 2025-064, amending the 1998 Code of Ordinances of the City of Columbia, South Carolina, Chapter 5, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 9, Short-Term Rental Regulations.
Make adjustments based on what we've heard. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
So we got a motion and a second. We're going to take first reading and then before second reading of this, incorporate some of the things that we have received today, both on email, phone calls, and from the public to enhance enforcement as step one in our further discussion around STRs and how we're creating a balance. With that, any further discussion from council at this point?
Mayor, I'd just like to say I'm concerned about the direction we're heading with STRs. I really do think that the most important thing is that we be pro-compliance. If we've got 146 plus or minus short-term rentals that are non-compliant because they don't have a permit, I think we should start there and then work our way down. If you have someone who won't comply with the simple concept of getting a permit, I don't know how you can expect them to comply with everything else. So it appears to me that we would be better served focusing on the core issue, which is the general compliance with permitting, and then apply the rules accordingly from there. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. I think it's going to be, for me, a combination of both, because I don't think we can leave the gaps open and solve some of the issues that are becoming irritated at the same time as we're going to straighten out those folks that aren't at all complying at all. So for me, it's a little bit of a balance of both. Yes, Ms. Herbert.
And I just wanted to add there are a lot of things in the ordinance that I think are less than perfect. However, I also believe that we need to make some movement, if that makes sense. And I'm hoping that between now and the second reading, based on a lot of the comments that we've heard, that we'll be able to make it a little more perfect. And I guess what I'm saying is my vote doesn't mean every single thing in here is great and that I agree with, but I do want us to have some progress and see what we can do there, as long as the longer term plans as well.
Mr. Mayor, and I just wanted to add, I appreciate Mr. Hatcher's presentation today, but I am very much interested in seeing, now that there will be additional capacity, how we start to see some of the problem STRs operating outside of the permit process or not being, good neighbors if they do have a permit. I'd like to see trends and change over time, and like, Councilman Herbert, open to changes down the road if we see something's not working.
Anybody else?
And for the record, the moratorium is still in place.
Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
No.
Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 31, ordinance number 2025-069, granting encroachment to Benedict College for use of the right-of-way area of the 1600 block of Oak Street that runs through its campus, adjacent to Richland County. TMS number is outlined for installation and maintenance of brick columns, wrought iron fencing, asphalt pavement, concrete curb, guttering, walkway, brick wall, bollards, parking spaces, bike lane, wheel stops, handicap ramp, landscaping, and irrigation system.
Motion to approve.
So move.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could we read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Moving into a period of resolutions, item 32, resolution number R 2025-050, designating the City of Columbia as a B City USA affiliate as endorsed by the Health, Social, and Environmental Affairs Committee on July 15, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, hearing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown? Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickaman?
Aye.
Item 33, resolution number R 2025-054, authorizing the city manager to execute a memorandum of agreement between the City of Columbia and Stars and Stripes 3T LLC for the Arabella Springs offsite water main expansion project.
So move.
Got a motion, is there a second? Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown? Ms. Herbert? Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickman?
Aye.
Thank you.
Event resolution items 34 through 39 are listed, council, as,
Do we need to take 34 separately since there's a verbiage change?
I can reference it for you, sir. It is simply omitting the 1500 block of Main Street for the South Carolina Pride Festival, including, and still includes the 1200, 1300, and 1400 blocks on Friday, October 3rd and Saturday, October 4th, 2025.
Let me make sure I understand. That's 12 through 15?
No, sir,
Through 14.
34 through 39. Items 34 through 39 are event resolutions. Sometimes you all like to take them as a group, I know. Or I
Just wanted to
can,
clarify because there was a block change in one. I just didn't want to make sure it got lost. Is there a motion for 34 through 39?
So move.
Got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you read the roll?
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Mr. Brown? Ms. Herbert?
Aye.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickman?
Aye.
Thank you.
other matters, item 40, council is asked to consider a funding request in the amount of $30,000 from the Sally R. Brasley Foundation for Nova Fest.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Herbert?
Yes, there was some emails exchanged, and I know that there is a pending outstanding issue, and I can't see, I don't see who I need to see, so.
Yeah, I can address that, Ms. Herbert. I believe are you referencing any documentation for the previous funding that was allocated last year that Mr. Brasley needs to provide?
For the foundation, not for the bigger event.
Right, for the Nova Fest related item. Yes, ma'am. So we discussed that with him. He said he would be providing the letter that addresses the issue that I think he had maybe described with some of y'all due to a death and an associated artist that was no longer able to provide services. So we have requested that information for the $15,000 amount. But that's up to council, that's the explanation from, that we've received thus far.
My recommendation would be to, if we approve this, to make sure we finish out and close those books out on the other one. with that
Okay.
documentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Or reduce this by that number. And I don't know what the will of council may be on that.
What is your recommendation?
Let's get the paperwork, especially if he's already
Would it be
working on it.
prudent to wait to get the paperwork?
So the
First.
recommendation is the 30,000, provided you get the paperwork.
Right.
I guess
Or do you-
what I'm hearing is that we don't have everything here, so should we not wait until we have it?
That is a reasonable option too.
We asking for deferral?
Well, it's already been motioned and voted, so vote it down, and then we could have another motion.
Do you want to vote it down, or do you want to defer it to the next meeting until those documents are secure?
It would make more sense to remove the motion, defer the item till all the pieces are there, because clearly there's some concern here.
I don't think there are going to be any documents, just for clarity, since y'all are talking about it. I think it's a letter that's coming to address whatever documentation could not be provided due to the situation that occurred with the event. That's what we've been told.
I, for one, am not clear at all about the whole situation, so I'm sorry. I would prefer that we defer it to the 19th until we know what everybody's had an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Instead of voting it down or moving forward without everything that we know, because there's some messaging
Move for
here.
deferral. Motion to defer.
How does, I'm sorry, I was just,
Motion to defer.
okay.
Need to retract.
Do we have to do something on Mr. Bailey's motion first that was already on the floor?
Yes. I would ask him to remove his motion.
What was that?
It's a
motion?
request for me to make a motion to withdraw my motion.
Yes.
So,
If you withdraw, Councilman Bailey,
yes.
I move that we defer.
Given there seems to be some questions, some concerns from other council members, I will withdraw my motion to approve item 40. And I need a second to my motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, Madam Clerk.
Let me understand that. Can I hear that motion again, please?
Look, I can help maybe. A withdrawal doesn't require a motion.
Exactly.
So if you're withdrawing it, the motion that was on the floor has been withdrawn.
So it's been withdrawn, and we could move on.
Thank you.
So now,
Defer.
now you can make a motion to defer.
I move that we defer it.
Is there a second?
A friendly amendment to defer it to the next agenda, just so that it doesn't get lost.
Yes.
Great. Yes, ma'am.
And we should have the information by then.
We got you.
We got a friendly.
We'll move it
amendment
forward
and a
to the next
second.
meeting.
It's a
Thank you.
letter, correct?
And that was it? That was it, Madam City Manager?
Yes,
Just a letter?
Just a letter.
That's all that that was indicated to me, that he could provide. Unless you are asking for something else. I mean, we said that before we put it on the agenda in the first place. So I don't think, we just need to get the letter, I think is what you all are saying.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Herbert?
Yes.
Dr. Bustles?
Aye.
Mr. Brennan? Yes. Mr. McDowell?
Yes.
Mayor Rickman?
Aye.
Thank you.
That takes you all, Mr. Mayor, to City Council Committee reports, referrals, and new business.
Is there any new business? Any referrals? That moves us to public input.
Was there a referral maybe from this morning's committee? I'm not sure how soon we needed to get the item from the committee on the peace poll, or, yeah.
Yes, we need to refer the items that were on the agenda this morning. She needs your referral.
Did you want to, I don't know the urgency, Mr. Chair of the Arts and Historic Preservation, did you need us to refer anything forward for you?
The peace poll.
My understanding, we made that referral at the committee level, and it will be on our next agenda. It doesn't require a referral at council meeting.
Well, we usually just refer it out of committee for you all, so we can make sure everyone's on the same page. Or if you all are ready for that item, we can take care of it. Yes, sir. The peace poll.
There's no referral that I have.
Okay, thank you.
You all ready for public input?
Huh?
I don't know.
It did.
Public input.
All right, ready? We have Jessica Saxton here. The item of concern is to receive information. And we will remind speakers that they have 3 minutes.
Thank you so much. My name is Jessica Saxton. I'm a civil rights advocate and litigator from Washington, D.C. I'm here to provide public notice. This is in accordance with USCS Rules of Civil Procedure, as well as Rule 20 and Rule 17 of the United States Supreme Court. The Constitution for the United States is the overarching requirements that every state must follow. I don't think any one of you here would disagree with that. States are not able to enact their own alternative legislation and substitute it for the guarantees of the Constitution. That would mean that your state laws are in fact more powerful than the Constitution, and that is unlawful. Clause 1 of Amendment 5 to the United States Constitution says that no person should be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment by a grand jury. However, the state of South Carolina, unfortunately, has enacted its own alternative legislation that substitutes the prosecuting attorney and police officers to be able to charge by way of information as opposed to indictment, and that is unlawful. An emolument violation is when you pay a public official to break the law. There are two areas of the Constitution that reinforces this. The first is Article 1, Section 10, where it says that no state shall create any law that shall impair the obligation of a contract. So police officers, prosecutors, judges, they're all under a contract to perform based on the oath or affirmation that they took. These contract perimeters are defined within the Constitution of the United States. So when a state enacts a law that directs their agents to disobey that law, that is a violation of Article 1, Section 10. The 14th Amendment is the other place that you find the reinforcement of this issue, and that's where it states that no state shall create or enforce any law that shall abridge the privileges and immunities of United States citizens. Privileges and immunities of United States citizens are at a minimum those that are enumerated within the Bill of Rights and the first 10 amendments. As a result of this, unfortunately, South Carolina, through its inferior constitution, it's allowing your police officers and your law enforcement to charge by way of information. You guys pay these people. So there's an ungodly amount of people currently in prison across South Carolina. Mr. Tanoa Downing is preparing to litigate this issue at the United States Supreme Court on behalf of more than 700,000 people currently imprisoned here in America unconstitutionally and unlawfully. I'm here today to provide notice that you cannot continue to pay public officials to commit crimes against us. I'm asking you honorable individuals, please, to take a look at Clause 1, Amendment 5. Confirm what I'm saying to be true. Direct your public officials to act in a lawful, constitutional manner consistent with the obligations that are codified in the Constitution of the United States. I do have a notice that I would like to put on the record. I encourage you to please take some time to read through this and educate yourself on the things that we're talking about today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, do we have the documents that you're
She's about to
referring
give it to us.
Okay.
I believe Ms. Saxton is accompanied by Mr. Downing. I would ask Mr. Downing to state his name for the record, please.
My name is Tanoa Downing. I'm a civil rights litigator that Ms. Saxton was just talking about. I'm here because I just want to provide a little bit of clarification for you guys so that you can better understand what it was that we just said. So I have approximately 12,000 criminal affidavits on behalf of affected victims from here in the state of South Carolina. A number of them are from within this city itself. So when the police choose to rely upon an inferior state statute that directs them or permits them to charge improperly in violation of the Constitution of the United States, a crime has been committed. It is Title 18, subsection 242. It's called deprivation of rights under color of law. What that statute says, it says that any person who, under the color of any state statute, ordinance, custom, or regulation, deprives any person of any rights secured by the Constitution, commits that crime. Now, this is a per se crime, which means that we don't have to prove that they intended to breach their obligations simply by virtue of the constitutional obligation breach. All elements of crime have been met because their willfulness and their knowledge derives from promise that they make. Now, there's a second crime that's identified within these affidavits, and that is Title 18, subsection 241, which is conspiracy to deprive of rights. That's when two or more persons conspire with the purpose of depriving any person of any rights secured by the Constitution. So when the judge conspires with the prosecutor and the sheriff's deputy, whoever it might be that's going out and performing the arrest, they're all engaged in this action, right? I'm not here to get anybody into trouble. That's not what this is about. We're asking you guys to please, let's take a look at the Constitution. Let's recognize its authority, its supremacy, and let's choose to willfully obey it. Because the alternative is that we would have to start converting these criminal affidavits into criminal complaints, and we don't want to go down that path. Now, the law of criminal conspiracy with regard to public officials, what that states is it says that any person who, having knowledge of any of the wrongs conspired to be done, and who have the power to prevent or aid in the prevention of the commission of the same, neglects or refuses to do so, may be joined in spending the action. Upon having been provided this notice, I would ask you guys to please, let's go ahead and correct these unlawful acts by either one, discontinuing paying your agents to go out and enforce a law that's in violation of the Constitution, or two, direct those agents to act in a lawful constitutional manner consistent with their obligations. Now, I'm not saying that these are good people. I'm not saying that these are lawful people. But what I am saying is that these are all rightful people who all have a right that the city's agents have clearly abridged, and we need to stop doing that. All right? So I know that you're going to go and you're going to ask your city attorney whether or not what I'm saying is true, and that city attorney is going to point you to a Supreme Court case from 1884 called Hurtado versus California. And before you guys choose to rely upon that as the foundation, I want to remind you that the Constitution of the United States of America is the foundation, not a judge-made ruling. The Supreme Court of the United States has no constituted authority to be able to alter, amend, or destroy any of the provisions that guarantees the Constitution. That must be done by an authentic act of the people in accordance with the special amending procedure of Article 5. Furthermore, judges have no authority to be able to legislate. That's because all legislative power must be vested in Congress of the United States, consisting of a Senate and House representatives. So I implore you, please step up, discharge the duties of your office, fulfill the obligations and promises that you made people of the state of South Carolina. God bless. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I just had one question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you identify the areas and crimes where folks are being arrested, where these are trending? Like, where are those specific areas?
Unfortunately, this is a systemic issue that's been ingrained into the system. This has happened over a long period of time, and I
What
can't.
particular crimes? Like, so each arrest, is it?
So the Constitution says no person shall be held for a capital or an infamous crime. Capital crime is any crime that's punishable by a death. That's very, very easy. An infamous crime is defined by Title 18, subsection 4083 as any crime punishable by more than 1 year imprisonment in a penitentiary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't have the names of the crimes. Thank you for your presentation.
God bless. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. The next person that signed up, looks like their first name is Naomi. Daryl Sutton.
How y'all doing today?
Good. How are you, Mr.
Great.
Sutton?
All right, so sorry my hair running a little bad, but it's Nasir Ashanti. Yes, ma'am. So, good afternoon, council members, and my name is again Nasir Ashanti, and I represent as a representative Gangs in Peace, which is a community nonprofit based here in Columbia, and we operate throughout South Carolina. So we work directly with youth, most at risk of gang involvement and violence, because we believe, like our grandmothers taught us, our grandfathers taught us, that an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. So we believe that prevention is more powerful than punishment. So young people in our city are facing real danger and real issues in real life. Gang recruitment is happening as early as middle school and even earlier. And gun violence involving teens is rising. Many of those kids don't see a future, so they turn to the streets. But this isn't just a public safety issue, it's a public health and a community survival issue, because we're dealing with human beings, not just like numbers and names on papers. So at Gangs in Peace, we provide consistent mentorship, violence interruption, and safe alternatives for youth. We've mentored more than 250 young people directly in the last 2 years. We've helped de-escalate more than 100 potentially violent situations, and we work in schools, on corners, and in homes, places where systems often don't reach. And we have partnerships where we work with DJJ, we work with the City of Columbia in multiple ways. We also have relations with the mayor and different people with city council and people throughout the city in different ways in the state. And so that we're asking city council funding to expand what is already working. So we don't want to take something and just take a shot at it. We want to take something that's already working. These are through partnerships and through the volunteerism and coming out of our pocket that we've been doing for years, which we have no issue with doing or continuing. But we're just saying that if we were able to get help from the city in the form of not just resources, but also the credibility that come with it, then we could be able to scale the effects of our efforts. So that we want to use this funding to be able to serve more youth through our one-on-one mentoring and life skills training, strengthen our street outreach and violence interruption teams, create more safe zones, places where kids can be kids, not targets. So this is an investment in prevention, safety, and the next generation of Columbia's leaders. So we don't want to see anything that's given or anybody that we deal with as any type of expense. So we see it as more like an investment. So every dollar spent on prevention saves far more in emergency response, incarceration, and basically lost potential. So we're not asking for charity, we're offering a partnership. So together we can break cycles of violence before they begin. And again, we believe in the concept that prevention is worth more than cure. So Columbia's youth deserve more than mere survival. They deserve hope, safety, and support, things I already know we all believe in anyway. So Gangs in Peace is ready to lead that effort, but we need you, our city leaders, to stand with us. Thank you for your time, your commitment, and for the future of our city. Thank y'all for being able to listen to what we got. Thank y'all.
First of all, thank you for the work you've done in the past, and thank you for what you're going to do in the future. Y'all have made an impact, and we will get you connected with our Office of Community Engagement. We need to put something in writing. I can't guarantee you that we have funding available, but we can work together to look at what resources are available. So we'll get connected with Dr. Forum and go from there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next, we have Daryl Sutton. Mr. Daryl Sutton, am I reading that correctly? Thank you. Mr. Jackson?
Why are you hiding in the back? You just let him go. You're training him, I see.
Yeah. Mr. Jackson, you're good?
I think they're all together.
All right, Mr. Sims. Thank you. This concludes the list, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Ma'am, please come to the
Miss
podium.
Felicia Jones. Miss Felicia Jones? Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm an international peace ambassador and a humanitarian, and I've been speaking at Richland County 2 school board since January. I spoke January, February, and March. I'm going to start off with this. First off, South Carolina just sued Scout Motors for $1.29 billion, and I'm asking you to allocate those funds for a high-speed rail line from Savannah Airport to Charlotte Airport, Charleston Airport to Atlanta or Tennessee. You've already done paperwork. I met with Mr. Frick from the Department of Transportation in 2022. So all the logistics and stuff has been done. They didn't have the money, now you have the money. And we really want you to allocate that money to the youth, and that will help the youth. That will bring jobs, revenue to the community, all through the corridor, that's what he called it, as well as give them access to transportation to come to Columbia, which would be the main hub for college, jobs, and entertainment. Okay, we clear on that?
Well,
needs to
we're
be-
not clear because the 1.9 billion is not our money. That's the state. That has nothing to
That's the
do with
state.
us.
This is the state.
Right.
So the city needs to implement to the state, that's your jobs, that you want to use that money in South Carolina. Yes, every time you get a settlement, your money goes somewhere, we don't know where. We want to see that money put to use for the youth, because at this point, this is what I got to say. We, the citizens, hold these truths to be self-evident. We can't walk down the street, go to the market, the church, the school, the movie without possibly dodging a bullet. And that was me, Christmas Eve in Harbison, when that 4-year-old killed himself. 5 minutes after I asked the whole store, why is it safer in the prison yard than in the schoolyard? That's called neglect. Okay, why? Because we need you guys, along with the school board. You know how you do this stick test? If you take this medicine, you can't drive. We need, if you take this medicine, you can't buy a gun. That's right, you can't buy a gun. And we need you to use drones to help survey the community as well as the mall, where the lady had to flip her baby stroller over to keep from getting shot by these knuckleheads out here with a gun. This is the situation. 92% of America is on some form of ADHD medication, according to the Center for Disease Control. There's a 370% spike in dementia for people under 35, millennials and Gen Z. That's why your police are chasing gun violence today. Also, for all humans have enough plastic due to environmental pollution on their brain to make a spoon. The younger you are, the more detrimental it is to your mental development. Okay? Also, out of 500 mass shootings, 125 are done by people on mental meds. Okay, 1 out of 10,000 babies are born with plastic on the brain. Part of their skull is missing. They're not surviving. And that's due
Ms.
to
Jones,
environmental
thank you
pollution.
so much. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you, but that's not enough. I need more time. And
Good.
I'm gonna ask, because this is important. It's not about you. It's crimes against humanity when you're
Thank you, Ms.
neglecting
Jones.
what's going on with
We
children.
appreciate your information, but
Can you
the
leave
time
the
is up.
information
Thank
with us?
you.
I've sent it thousands of times and nobody's responded. I tried to get a meeting before I came here. Nobody called me back, and we'll talk, because you're gonna see my phone number once you start looking for it. But all of this stuff literally is on you who hold these seats and positions from here to the White House. Poison isn't prejudice. Okay, thank you. Poison isn't prejudice, people are.
Thank you.
Stop killing our kids like a turn their head. That's neglect on every parent, every teacher, and the school board should boycott city and kids.
That was the end of public input, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much, Mayor, Council.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion and a second, Madam Clerk.
Unanimous consent. Thank you.